Hey, Tribe and YouTube fam, welcome back. I'm Chad, by the way. Welcome to Live Life on Your Terms, just in case you're new here. But in this video, why don't I have more of a simple, down-to-earth video, a relaxed video with you about why manifesting isn't working. What's the number one thing? What's the main thing we're doing that's keeping us from experiencing what we want, keeping us experiencing our dream life, no matter what it is, okay? No matter if it's your dream car, dream house, dream career, no matter if it's money, but you're trying as hard as you can and it's not working. You're doing all these techniques, you're being obsessed with it, okay? You've created a strong routine around everything, but it's not working. So what are you doing? So that's what we're going to talk about today, because it's something I've been experiencing myself, and just because of my personality, and maybe it will resonate with you. But right now, really fast, is I am inside because it's hot as hell outside. I wanted to do this video kind of out walking around because I'm in that mental, I want to walk around and talk, but rather than sit, but it's really, really hot. So right now I'm in the office here. You can see my office, got my water here, sparkling water. So what have I been experiencing? Okay, before we kind of get to it, is one of the things you have to understand about me is, now I've never been diagnosed with high functioning autism, but I really have the traits of it. Now, my nephew has high functioning autism. He's 21. He's been diagnosed his whole life. And one of the reasons why I kind of know a lot about it is because my nephew has it. And him and I are like really, really alike personality wise, like habits and stuff like this. So that's why I have the traits of high functioning autism. And what really comes with that is being really, really obsessive. Now, for me, for some reason throughout life, with some people who have high functioning autism, that obsessiveness, especially when they're a kid, a teenager, young adult, usually their parents have to be very careful what they get obsessed with because they go down a rabbit hole with it. I mean, meaning like good or bad. But for me, I've always been obsessed with work. Okay. I can sit here 12 hours a day, 13, 14 hours a day and work every single day, 7 days a week. Okay. That's all I'm thinking about. And, that could be a superpower. What you have to understand, it is a superpower. Okay. Being obsessed is a superpower if you use it the right way. But the biggest but here is that this superpower can really turn into a sabotage or self-sabotage when we actually flip over to manifesting. Okay, because when we flip over to manifesting, the big thing I want to talk about here is that when you want something, you influence your subconscious mind. No matter how you influence your subconscious mind, no matter if you're doing Neville Goddard's nighttime, bedtime routine, no matter if you're doing Neville Goddard's SATS exercise, okay, it doesn't matter how you influence your subconscious mind or what technique you're doing, but what's happening is you're obsessed with the techniques, you're obsessed with things working, and you're not letting it go, okay? You're not detaching from it. And that's the biggest core, what I want to talk about in this video, is that's the biggest thing that's holding you back, that's holding myself back in certain things, because I'll be honest, it's, I want these big things, but I'll find, because of my personality, that I become obsessed with it. I'll lay it out every night and go into my imagination and create this imaginal scene. And I'll do it every flipping night for a flipping year and not let it go, not let it be. And that's not Neville Goddard's technique at all. It's really about, once you influence your subconscious mind, you let it go, let it be, you detach from it, you forget about it. Because that detachment, that you totally forgetting about it, is when it actually comes to you. Now, I've experienced a lot of that in my life. Once I really let things go and let it be, and I totally forget about it, that's when it pops up a couple weeks later. Make sense? And we've all experienced this, just on little things. If you think about a friend you haven't talked to for a long time, isn't it weird? You start thinking about him and you totally let it go. You detach from it, you let it be, you totally forget about it. Then like 2 or 3 weeks later, that friend calls you out of the blue. You know what I mean? Because you thought about it, but you detached from it. Same way like with Neville Goddard technique, same way with a ladder technique. You see, if the ladder technique worked for you, the reason why it worked for you is because, one, why in the hell do you want to manifest a ladder And two, you let it go, you let it be, you detach from it. The reason why you detach from it, because it's simple. What, the ladder? What the fuck? You know what I mean? You know, so you detach from it. And this gets difficult. Listen, okay, this gets difficult when you want to live the dream life. This gets difficult when you want to live life on your terms. The reason why it gets difficult because you become obsessed with it. You become so obsessed with it, that's all you're thinking about. But you have to understand, when you're obsessed, that's all you're thinking about. You're growing this unhealthy attachment to it. In a way, you're trying to control the how. Okay, it's a fancy little word. You think you're not controlling it. You think you're not looking for the how. You think you're getting up and you say, well, Chad, I'm not waking up and looking in my garage for my dream car. I'm not doing that stuff. But the way you're controlling it is you're obsessed with it. You're doing these techniques over and over and over and over and over again. And that grows an unhealthy attachment. You're not detaching from it. And that's the main reason, baby. That's the main reason it's not coming to you, is because you're not letting it go. Okay. So before we wrap this video up, I want to share with you some things that worked for me, how to let this stuff go. And I've had some great results with this. And what I've done is I kind of develop an affirmation around it. And no, it's not a daily affirmation, because the whole point is not to be obsessed. The whole point is not to overthink this stuff, not think about it all day long, all through the day, all through the night. You know what I mean? So, because basically what happens, really quick before I get to my affirmation, is what's happening is when we become obsessed with something, we're doing it over and over and over and over and over again. What we're really doing is communicating to our subconscious mind that we don't have it yet. That's all you're doing. When you do these techniques over and over and over again, all you're doing is telling the subconscious mind you don't have it. That's why that's why these techniques don't work for you, because you already influence your subconscious mind. The next step is to let that thing go, detach from it, forget about it. But then every single night you keep doing the same thing over and over and over, which all that does, I sound like a broken record, but again, I want you to get this. All it does is communicate to your subconscious mind, you don't have it, it hasn't occurred, and you just keep on repeating the cycle like a broken record. But you're repeating the cycle, but the cycle's not working for you. So this is how to get it to work. Okay, what I would do is I developed an affirmation around stuff. And I'll give you a couple really good examples so you can create an affirmation like this around your life, or like this around something you're struggling with, that you're struggling with letting it go. You might think you're not obsessed with it, but you're struggling with letting it go. Okay, you're attached to it. No matter what fancy words you want to use, that's what's going on. So I'll give you an example about my Thailand visa. It's been about a couple years ago. I already have my Thailand visa that I want, but a couple years ago, I created this imaginal scene that I wanted a 1-year visa to stay in Thailand, because I didn't want to come to Thailand on tourist visas no more. So I was in Thailand. I had to go home to my niece's wedding, and I was going to come back. So I created this imaginal act, okay, before I went to bed, seeing myself go home. And when I come back to Thailand, I come back on a 1-year visa. So I didn't want to flip-flop back and forth. So I'm in Thailand when I created this imaginal scene. I did it for a few nights and I forgot about it. But then what I started noticing was I was becoming obsessed with it. I started thinking about it all the time. So I came up with this affirmation. And what I would do is every time I thought about my Thailand visa at the time, I would say, well, when I come back to Thailand, I'm coming back on a 1-year visa, baby. When I come back to Thailand, I'm on a 1-year visa. I would say this every time I thought about it. I wouldn't say it every day, but every time I thought about my Thailand visa, I would repeat that affirmation, like a robotic affirmation. And what was amazing with that is I started not to become obsessed with it. And it actually came true. When I went back home to visit my family and go to the wedding, when I booked my flight, and when I sat down to do my visa, when I finally sat down to do my visa, Thailand came out with a new visa called a DTV, and it was a 5-year visa that I qualified for. So I got that visa, And on the way back to Thailand, I had my 1-year visa. Actually, it was a 5-year visa, but that actually came true. But it came true because I wasn't attached to it no more. Because I created this affirmation. Every time I thought about it, I would say that when I come back to Thailand, I'm coming back on my 1-year visa. Bottom line, because it was true. Okay. Now let me give you a little bit more of a real example. That was real, but let me connect it a little bit farther for you. Okay. Other things that I have wanted was to be the king of YouTube, or the king of my domain in YouTube, be viral on YouTube. I'm the king of my niche on YouTube. I'm the $15 million man. I'm the multi-millionaire. Okay. But besides being obsessed with it, and that's what I'm thinking about all day long, okay, that's what I'm going to bed to thinking about. That's what I'm going in my imagination thinking about every single night. It keeps me attached. It keeps me obsessed. And it's telling my subconscious mind it hasn't occurred yet because I keep on thinking about it. Okay, this is what I would do. Is when I would think about being viral on YouTube, I'm the king of YouTube, I would say, it's done. It's already done. Thank you. Okay, when I would think about being the $15 million man, I would say, it's done. It's already occurred. Okay, when I would think about, what's the other one? When I think about being a multimillionaire, it's done. Okay, it's finished. It's done. I already have it. Okay, that's what you got. That's what you need to do. Is when you start thinking about things, you start thinking about something you want to manifest, but you know you're obsessed with it. You know you're hanging on to it. You're not letting it go. Create a little affirmation that it's done. I already have it. Okay, you can say this out loud, or you can say it to yourself. But when you say it's done, I already have it. I already achieved it. It's letting the subconscious know that you have it, you achieved it, and your mind starts to settle down. And it might not change overnight, but slowly you start becoming where you're more and more unattached. And eventually, what will happen is that you'll totally forget about it, and you're totally forget about it, and you're hardly thinking about it. And remember, you're not doing this affirmation every day. You're only doing the affirmation when you actually think about it. So you might think about it every day, and you say, it's done. I already accomplished that. I already have it. Then it becomes you might think about it every couple days that you say that affirmation. Then it becomes, maybe you only think about it a couple times a week and you say that affirmation again. Then it becomes once a week. Makes sense? Then it becomes where you're not thinking about it. And when you actually stop thinking about it, if you can really stop thinking about it for a few weeks, 100%, that's going to happen to you. Okay, you really need to detach from this stuff. This is the hardest thing. This is the hardest thing with manifesting. This is the hardest thing when you talk about identity work, because we're so flippin' obsessed because we really want it. We really want a great life. We really want to live life on our terms, and we have a death grip on it. You got to release that death grip. Okay, you release that death grip because what you want is already yours. Bottom line. Okay, you just have to realize it and believe it and trust it in you. And when you think about it, once you think about it, you say it's done. I already have it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to say, Chad, tell me exactly what to say. Okay, it has to be real for you. Okay, it's done. I already have it. I already accomplished it. And you'll find your mind will settle. Once you say those things, your mind will settle down. It's almost like a weight lifting off your shoulders, like, oh, okay, I can finally stop thinking about this. I can finally stop hanging on to this. I can finally stop being obsessed with this. You know what I mean? And once you master it, whatever you want, it doesn't matter what it is, okay? If it's you want to be a multimillionaire, you want to be a millionaire, you want your dream car, dream house, you want to give to charities, you want your dream job, dream career, it doesn't matter. It's going to come, once you truly let it go, it's going to come to you fairly fast. Out of nowhere, out of thin air. It's going to feel like it dropped on your head. No, I promise you that, okay? But other than that, my friends, just wanted to share that with you, just in a relaxed mode. Like I said, I'm in the office here and relaxing. Wanted to take a walk, but it's hot as hell outside. Let me tell you, pretty toasty out there. So other than that, my friends, comment below. Love to hear from you. If you have any questions, you need further advice, you're going to be part of the tribe, the link is in the description. If you want to reach out to me, the link is in the description again. Other than that, peace out. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.